Well, the last hour or two for the crypto market has been quite brutal, seeing most altcoins dropping anywhere from 10 to 15%, leaving a lot of investors wondering what in the world happened and what is going on. And so, in tonight's quick update for you, I want to let you know exactly what I'm seeing in the market, why I think it's pulling back, and what I'm doing as a result of it. And so, with that said, look, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. Now, looking at first and foremost crypto bubbles, what we can see here is that, yeah, things got quite ugly today. You can see that Trump and Fartcoin are still holding some decent ground right now. But outside of those two, which is hilarious, the rest of the market is just getting absolutely obliterated. From things like Doge and Pepe and HBAR and SWI, nothing's being saved. Layer ones and layer twos, meme coins, AI agents, everything getting absolutely smashed today. Really seeing this market pulling back and erasing a lot of the gains that we saw on the week. As you all know, the last few days, if you'd have looked at this weekly bubbles chart, you'd have seen a lot of green. And now a lot of those cryptos, just from what we've seen in the last hour, are starting to put in some red here on the week. Now, a lot of people are saying that the primary reason as to why this market is pulling back is because of Trump coin and the drainage of liquidity from Trump coin or into Trump coin from the altcoin market. And although I do believe that that is, it is contributing to today's pullback, I actually don't think people recognize why the market's actually pulling back. I think everyone's overlooking the real reason as to why this market's pulling back. And again, I want to go over that with you. Now, in this morning's video, I told you all that everyone is kind of looking at this a bit in the not the wrong way, but a little bit of a surface level way. It's like, oh, Trump coin is growing, it's taking all the liquidity from altcoins, therefore altcoins are going down. And although there is some truth to that, right? Because on chain, you objectively can see liquidity flowing from some of these altcoins into Trump coin. That's not the primary reason as to why it's pulling back. And what I will say is actually the primary reason as to why I believe it's pulling back is very natural, very healthy, and I don't know what that was, but we're going to go with it. I think it's actually a pretty good thing to some degree. You see, earlier this week, we saw the crypto market absolutely pumping upwards, right? If we go to something like Bitcoin, for example, what you can see here is Bitcoin went from all the way down at $88,000 all the way up, guys, to $106,000. I mean, we saw Bitcoin's price alone push anywhere from 18 to 20% to the upside. Now, in the time in which this happened, we were seeing the rest of the altcoin market also really starting to push up. Seeing something like Total 2, which is the total market cap of all altcoins, also pushing up 20 to 25% to the upside, as we were seeing, of course, all types of cryptos really catching a lot of momentum. But what seems to have happened is that as, of course, the release of Trump coin and its Fart coin and all these other Solana-based cryptos started doing well, it seems like people forgot that that happened, right? It seems like people forgot that Bitcoin made such a dramatic recovery because everything was kind of overshadowed by Trump coin and, of course, the coming inauguration, which is tomorrow. Now, as a result of everyone just forgetting about this major breakout that we saw in the crypto market, they also didn't realize or forgot that after major breakouts, you see natural, healthy cooldowns, corrections, and pullbacks. You see, when cryptos make breakouts to the upside, what you have to understand is it's never usually going to be something like this, right? You're never usually going to see this happen, where the market just goes up. Say we have a key resistance level right here, you just go up straight past it. That's not usually what happens. You see, what usually happens is a crypto is going to come up, maybe it'll come back down to back test it, try to hold some support, maybe give us a quick fake out to the downside to liquidate some of those long traders, and then we come back up, recover it, work our way up, maybe get rejected one more, and then we try to go. This is generally what it looks like when you get a breakout of a major resistance zone. And what I believe is happening in the market right now is that the crypto market broke out of a major resistance zone, and it is now taking a natural and healthy pullback towards the downside to liquidate all of the greedy leverage traders that got in right here and to start just correcting some of your indicators. Because what you have to remember is Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, everything. Whenever we saw this market pushing and Bitcoin got up to $105,000, basically every indicator was overbought, meaning that the entire market was just too dang on high. It went too high too fast. And you need to see a cool down and correction like this in order to correct those overbought signals we were getting right here. Now, that is naturally what I think would have happened with or without Trump's coin. But what I think happened is that it got worse as a result of Trump's coin. The reason that I say that is because a lot of the buying pressure, buying momentum, and dry powder that investors had sitting on the sidelines in order to be able to invest into these tokens, if an instance like this happened, got invested into Trump's coin. So once the market started to slow down and cool down and pull back, bulls didn't have as much cash and dry powder and just bullish momentum that we needed in order to slow down this correction that's happening right now, therefore making it happen faster and accelerating faster, of course, than it normally naturally would have. And so, yes, although Trump's coin is having some sort of impact on this pullback, and I think it's making it worse, I don't believe this to be the reason why the market's pulling back. Moreover, I think the market's pulling back because naturally that's what it was going to do anyway. If you go look at something like Total 2, which is the total market cap of altcoins, look at what's happening. We broke out of a major resistance zone, we came up, we hit a key level of resistance, and now we're going back down to backtest it. Guys, this is what the market naturally does. And so you can't say that this is because of anything, in my opinion, outside of natural price movement. Prices naturally do this. When you have something like Bitcoin that just broke $100,000 and just broke out of this descending structure, of course, when you break out and run into a major resistance zone, you're going to come back down and try to flip that resistance into support. It's no different than what happened back here, whenever we get this breakout right here, and when we got this breakout right here. It's just naturally what crypto does. And so what this means is that it's not actually as seemingly as bad as it may feel. I know you may think, oh, shoot, the market's down. What am I going to do? I'm down 10%, 12%. This sucks. Oh my goodness. But at the end of the day, what I hope you understand is that it's not that bad. It's not some big, terrible crash. It's just a healthy, natural pullback and correction that we've seen, what, 10 times in the last 45, 60 days. We see this all the time. And what I will actually go ahead and say is this is probably to some degree a good sign, because had cryptos just absolutely rallied over and over, I mean, had this market just rallied all the way up until tomorrow with Trump's inauguration, I would be more convinced that some sort of crash, because this is a pullback, I would be convinced some sort of crash would be on the way as some more macro buy the rumor, sell the news event happened. And that's not what we're getting. The market, although it is seeing the influence of Trump's coin, it is seeing the influence of the inauguration, is still moving naturally. And as long as it's moving naturally, it can sustainably and comfortably, in my opinion, still continue to work its way up and see Bitcoin and altcoins work their way up to more all-time highs. And so, yes, I know it feels spooky, it feels stressful, and it is scary, but at the end of the day, it's not that bad. That's why this morning, in this morning's video, I told you, I said, listen, buying things like Solana right now, buying things like Trump coin right now is very risky in the short term. It might fall anywhere from 20 to 30% just like that, and you won't even see it coming. And what do you know? You go look at something like Solana, and since it put in that high up here, we saw Solana's price fall, guys, 20%. So just like we were talking about this morning, telling you, hey, in the short term, things are risky, things are sketchy, it might fall 20 to 30%. It has now fallen 20% just like that. And that's why you have to be careful in periods where there is FOMO, where there is hype, and where there is euphoria, because things like this will happen all the time. Matter of fact, I actually went in earlier this morning after I made that video, and I was like, you know what? There's so much euphoria in the market right now. There's so much FOMO in the market right now. I actually went in and closed 10% of my entire Solana position in profit, in which my average cost is $34. So this was me basically taking out 100% of my initial investment, or 80% of my initial investment, in profit. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think Solana can still go to $500, $600. Of course it can still go to $500 and $600. I told you that this morning. Midterm, long-term, Solana is going to be fine. It's probably still going to hit $500, $600 at some point. Of course I believe that. But in periods where there is so much FOMO, it's when you need to be the most careful. And I took those profits at $284, which were right up here. I took profits right up here, right in this little level right here. And what do you know? It starts to pull back now. Now I have the option. Do I want to re-enter? Do I not want to re-enter? And I'm probably not going to. I'm happy taking some profit off the table. But that's what I meant this morning, is you have to be aware that in those moments of, craziness and euphoria, you got to swim against the tide. So the question that everyone has now is, okay, well, now we understand, well, the market's pulling back because it's a natural, healthy correction. It's a back test being amplified by a drainage of liquidity from Trump's coin. What now? Well, what we need to be doing now is watching these key charts very closely. There's two charts you need to be watching very closely. Okay, let me give you this. This is your homework for tonight. The first chart you need to be watching is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's chart and Bitcoin's price is coming back to retest what could be as low as $98,000. If Bitcoin's price is able to come back down and build support above $98,000, which is the top side of this descending structure right here, we're going to be totally fine. And if you want to play it even more safe, you can go up to that wick. So you could say it's $99,000. As long as Bitcoin's price is closing and maintains above $99,000, it is doing something natural and healthy. A breakout, coming back down and trying to flip this previous structure into support. That's okay. So as long as we're above 99K, this is a natural correction that's very healthy, that will very likely open the door for the crypto market to try to rally upwards. Now, the second chart you want to watch is total 2, which is of course the total market cap of altcoins. The total market cap of altcoins right now is currently coming back down. And let me pull this down just a little bit here. Is currently coming back down and possibly testing as low as $1.35 trillion. As long as the total market cap of altcoins is above the total market cap of $1.35 trillion, we're in a good spot that this is a natural, healthy correction, allowing for our indicators to reset to the downside like you're seeing now. Look at the 4 hours, guys. Look at how the 4-hour RSI on the total 2 is now already back in that 42 threshold. Look how on Bitcoin it's already sub 50. This means it's resetting, and it's resetting like we need it to. So don't panic. Don't freak out, and maybe now's even a time to get some buys in. Maybe now is the time to buy a little bit of Pepe. Maybe it's time to buy a little bit of Shiba Inu. Maybe some more XLM on this back test, right? Maybe start doing your dollar cost averaging now rather than freaking out and selling into the fear. If you were buying in the FOMO this morning and selling the fear right now, you're playing this market backwards. You gotta swim against the tide. And so with that in mind, guys, that's my strat. That's what I'm doing. I'm watching Bitcoin. I'm watching Total 2 like a hawk, because as long as they hold above those levels I told you, we're okay, and it's going to be all right, okay? So that's what I'm doing. If you do want to see whenever I do some dollar cost averaging, because I probably will do some buying tonight, you can feel free to check out the school down below, which is where I told everyone I was taking some of my profits off of Solana at $281 right before it pulled back another 10 or 15%. So you can feel free to go check that out down below. Guys, our school has a very simple mission. We take crypto investors like yourselves. We give you courses, coaching classes, live streams, workshops, signals, research, Q&As, and much more to help you refine your strategies, because strategies are how you generate gains. And don't just take it from me. You can see the gains that have been printed in the community just today. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were made just today. And the proof is in the pudding. I'm not making this up. You can go see it for yourself. Again, this is all just today. So if you want to be a part of this crew, you can go check it out. There are over 1,170 paid members, and you can start for as little as $5 a month. So head down to the link down in the description below. Go check it out. Go let me know what you think. If you do want to start trading today, you can get a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits with BTCC. This is a platform that's been around for over 13 years now, and they're getting better every day. And you can go get some free money to trade with right now with my link down below. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, which I will leave down in the description below at Tyler Crypto Talk. But overall, again, I know it feels bad, but it's not as scary as you think. And it is actually probably a pretty good thing for the market that we are pulling back and cooling down right now, especially in advance of a major catalyst like tomorrow. So as it all does continue to play out, you guys know I'll be here with you every step of the way, telling you what I'm doing, what I'm planning, what I'm strategizing on, and much more. So if you have been enjoying it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.